How has Israel seemingly been able to outsmart the Islamic Republic of Iran every step of the way in their multi-front war against the Jewish state? Well, a new article in the National Review suggests that it has a lot to do with Israel's world-famous intelligence agency, the Mossad. Well, Sean Durns, the author of the article, joins us now. So, Sean, paint us an accurate picture of what the Mossad is up to in Iran.
Quite a lot. Israeli intelligence perpetrated what was almost unquestionably one of the greatest intelligence operations in modern history in June, where they took out the majority of Iran's command staff in targeted precision strikes that were so precise that they actually knew exactly where the Iranian commanders were sleeping. They eliminated Iranian anti-aircraft missiles and devices, and they basically laid the groundwork for the United States to take out Iran's nuclear program.
So how is a little country, again, famously called, the size of New Jersey, a population smaller than the state of Ohio, how is this little nation able to just get all of these spies into a very hostile nation?
Well, one thing that has helped, and that's a great question, Raj, one thing that really has helped when it comes to Iran is the nature of the Iranian regime. Iran is, the Islamic Republic rather, is so brutal towards its own people that it has resulted in numerous Iranian citizens being willing to help out Israel to take down the regime. And as we now know, there was recently an article in ProPublica by Dan Raviv and Yossi Melman, who have previously written great books on Israeli intelligence, basically highlighting how many Iranians were key to carrying out this operation. Without them, I'm not sure it could have been done.
There's disturbing reports of, a lot of executions stemming from what just took place in Iran, the embarrassment really to the Iranian regime in Tehran. Can you tell us maybe, is that mainly Iranian folks, or are there Israeli operatives that have been part of these executions?
Not that I'm aware of, but it's certainly possible. I should note, of course, that this is a despotic regime. So many of the people that they are killing are undoubtedly innocent of anything. This is also an opportunity that the regime is using to settle scores and to eliminate dissidents and critics, many of whom were unconnected to the operation that was carried out in June.
So tell us more about the Mossad. It obviously is such a shadowy organization. There's lots of caricatures made about it. What is the Mossad, and again, how long have they been operating in Iran, and how deep is it?
Well, basically, is what happened when the Islamic Republic was created in 1979 with the Islamic Revolution. It took years for Israel to really begin to focus on the threat that was emanating from Iran. They didn't begin to do so until the 1990s, following the Oslo Accord. So they've slowly been building up their capabilities in Iran and in surrounding areas, which of course have been used by Iran to wage war against the Jewish state, areas like Syria, Lebanon. So Israel was initially slow to wake up to the threat. In fact, you can find there's an account of several Israeli intelligence officers talking about the possible threat on the eve of the Islamic Revolution. And some of them said Khomeini is not Iran's future. So, of course, that ended up not being the case. Khomeini came to power, and the Islamic Revolution unfolded and became a huge existential threat to the Jewish state. But Israel was slow to wake up to it. However, over the course of the last 2 decades, especially the last, I'd say, 15 years, they've really built up an incredible capability within Iran itself. And I should note, too, that these strikes that happened in June were also really made possible by previous Israeli intelligence efforts in Lebanon, taking out Hezbollah operatives with the famous pager strike, where they had a bunch of pagers that blew up and killed and maimed numerous Hezbollah operatives. That really made this operation possible, because previously Iran had Hezbollah like a knife to its throat, to Israel's throat. So by eliminating that threat or greatly degrading Hezbollah's capabilities, it allowed Israel to carry out the strikes in Iran.
If you would have painted a picture of what the Mossad would have been up to 10 years ago in Iran, and said this was going to happen, it would almost be too ridiculous of a movie plot. Some of these strikes and some of these operations are just, Jason Bourne, 007 stuff. Maybe can you, maybe in closing, give us an example or two or three, however many we want, of some of these operations that the Mossad has carried out, and just how unbelievably complex and pinpointed some of these operations have been.
And pinpoint is exactly what they've been. It truly is astounding. What we saw happen in June was the largest decapitation strike in modern military history. They lured all the top heads of the various different entities of Iran's military to a meeting and then killed them. And those who weren't at that meeting, they killed them in their bedrooms with precise strikes that literally illustrated that they knew exactly where these commanders were sleeping. Mid-level commanders received threatening phone calls saying, you better leave. Those commanders who did flee sometimes were tracked down and killed there. Israel literally built drones inside of Iran itself to use during these strikes. So this is just, it really is quite incredible. They killed 14 of the top 15 regime's nuclear scientists. They carried this out within a matter of days. I'm not aware of any intelligence service, frankly, that could do something along those lines. It really is quite incredible.
Wow. Well, Sean Durns, I appreciate your insight, my friend. God bless.
Thank you, Rosh. Thanks for having me.